Hey guys, welcome to the Thursday Night Build Show. I'm your host, Ben Estrino, over here at the Empower Studio in my awesome studio back here. So today we're going to be building an awesome PC for Kalvin. I know it has been a couple days since I've streamed. We had some interesting water issues over here, which, you know, if you're running your own business or starting out, things get tight money-wise. So you tend to do things yourself. So I had to become a plumber the last 4 days to figure out the problem and fix the problems that we had. So now that that problem's all sorted out, now I'm back to building PCs. So I went from plumbing to PCs today. And I have a really bad shoulder now from all the digging that I had to do. Because we manually dug up my well to find a broken pitless adapter, I think is what it's called. So that was part of the problem. Anyway, tonight we're going to be building a awesome PC for Kalvin. I'm going to go ahead and switch over to our side view here because, well, the majority of everything is here. But we might go top down, I think. Let's see what view is going to look better. There's just so many parts here, I can't even fit them all on the table. So we'll just go here. Hey Adam, thanks for the like over there on Facebook. Thank you, sir. So going ahead, just diving right into it, really. We've got our AMD Ryzen 7, which is a 7800X 3D, which is one of our 7th gen or 7000 series. I'm sorry, processors by AMD, which is AM5 platform. And also has the 3D V cache, so it's really going to give a nice boost for the video card, which you can see in the corner, which card that is specifically. I'm going to kind of move over a little bit more so we can get a better view of all the parts there. There we go. And so you don't look at my shirt. But this has got 8 cores, 16 threads, and a maximum boost of 5 gigahertz. So this is a absolutely fantastic processor. Puts them on the AM5 platform, which is going to last a long time. When I say a long time, probably in the 3 years is my guesstimate. I believe AMD announced up until at least 2026 they're going to use the AM5 platform. If they keep their promise or not, I don't know if that's going to be the case. But that CPU is going to be going on an AM5 B550 Gaming X AX V2 by Gigabyte, so it's a great motherboard as well. We are going to be using 32 gigs of DDR5 6000 megahertz at CL36, and this is the Flare X5 series. And then we also have a 2 terabyte M.2 Gen 4 SSD, which has read writes up to 7000 and 6850. Don't know why it's 6850 or not just like 6800, but this is the Inland Performance Plus series. Inland, if you're not familiar with that brand, it is a Micro Center brand. So I did get the components actually all from Micro Center. Hey, Empower for the win. Hey Geesh, what's up, man? Thanks for that follow over there on Twitch. We're also going to be using the Thermalright Frozen Note, which you can't see at the very top of the case here because it's out of frame. But this AIO is a 360mm AIO. I've used them quite a bit in our streams in the past on other builds, but overall it's got an inline pump, which we really like because the pump is going to be lasting a long time in its position where it's at. We are going to be mounting the radiator at the top of the case, and the fans that we're going to be using are 3 120mm fans that are included with the cooler, but they are addressable RGB PWM, so they're going to be controlled by the motherboard. case fans, we're going to be using the ST120s. And before we actually dive further into the ST120s, we are going to be using the Montech King 95 case. So if you're not familiar, the Montech King is a very similar case to, say, the Lian Li 011 Dynamic, but it's got a nice curve. I don't know if you can see it right here off to the side here, but it's got a nice curve on the glass, which kind of gives it a unique view and a unique look to the case itself. But that being said, we're going to be using 3 ST120s on the side and then 3 ST120 fans on the bottom. And the ST120s are by Lian Li. They're 120 millimeter, they're PWM, and they're addressable RGB. So they'll synchronize with the motherboard, and we'll utilize the Gigabyte control center to manage all the RGB in the system. Next up, we are going to be powering the system with a Seasonic Focus 80 Plus Gold 850 watt power supply. This was supposed to be the PCIe 5.0 version of this power supply, but my friend over at the Micro Center grabbed the incorrect one off the shelf. Sure. So I am going to make this work though, because I can't go back and I don't have enough time to adjust it, but it is going to work. The nice thing about this build is we already have, hey Kyle, what's up? How's it going, man? We already have strimmers for both the graphics card and the 24 pin as well, the Lian Li strimmers. So we have 16 pin strimmers for the graphics card and a 24 pin for the motherboard. And the graphics card we're going to be using tonight is going to be the Gigabyte RTX 4070 Ti, which is the WindForce OC 12 gigabyte. So it's an absolutely beast of a card, paired with this AMD Ryzen 7 7800X 3D. It's going to be a beast of a PC. We are going to mount the card vertically as well, so I'm hoping that this vertical bracket actually is compatible with this case. I actually meant to double check that before we fired up the stream, but knowing me, you know, I'm only halfway prepared half the time. So I'm going to start moving some of this out of the way, and we're going to get a top-down view, and we'll get started. Good PC? Yes, this will be a very good PC. What's going on? Over there on YouTube, what's going on, man? Alright, so I'm going to move, like I said, some of this out of the way. And then we'll get started. And yes, I believe this is going to work just fine in this case. Perfect. Okay, so we're going to get a top-down view. And then we will get started here. So how is everybody's night on this Thursday evening? Everybody good? Hope you got your snacks ready, because this is going to be quite, probably I'd say a lengthy 2-hour build minimum. We're going to be probably 2 hours to get to the end of this build. The strimmers and the extra fans kind of add a little bit of time. I know that this case can include fans. Hey Army Vet, what's up? How's it going? Over there on Twitch. How was the event over the weekend? It was really good. Awesome. Yeah, I tried looking it up to see if I could watch any of it. And that streaming service you mentioned, I think they wanted money, so I kind of deferred. Had Carol working with me? Nice. Yeah, I looked it up because I was gonna like take a peek at it. I did some live about every 100 laps on my Facebook. Nice. Nice. Alright, so we're getting the Ryzen 7 7800X 3D out of its packaging, and then we're going to drop this into the socket. I'm also less concerned to use the contact frames with the AMD series because they are much smaller than the Intel CPUs, so I'm less concerned about contact on this LGA socket than I would be with an Intel socket. So, that being said, we do not have a LGA contact frame to install. We've got a Ryzen 7 7800X 3D installed. Hey there, recently inquired about having y'all build me the next gaming PC. Can't wait to have the cash for it. Really appreciate the knowledge passed on to me. Yeah, no problem, man. Happy we did that. Great stream, bro. You absolutely killed us. Thanks, Quiche. Although, you know, running around in PUBG would be much more relaxing tonight after the crazy day I had. But we got to get this build done for Kalvin tonight. Well, this is a 2 terabyte M.2 NVMe SSD Gen 4, PCIe Gen 4 that I'm installing. It's got read writes about the same speed as a Samsung 980 Pro, and can kind of compete with the 990 Pro. Very close. But it's a very quick SSD, so it's going to make load times super quick. And also kind of keep up with that Steam download, especially if you have super fast internet. Then, you know, the faster SSD you have, the better it's going to keep up while it's downloading and installing, which makes downloading and installing games on this system super fast. So it's going to keep up with that download speed and the install. Because you know how Steam games like to install and download at the same time? And then we just put the heat spreader back right over the top of the SSD. And that's going to do it for the SSD. So now we're going to move on to the RAM. We're going to be putting that in A2 and B2 on the motherboard. This is DDR5, which is 6,000 megahertz at CL36. And this is the G-Skill Flare X5 series. It's specific for DDR5. It's okay, mate. All we're doing is Paris and Windows with the Machu. Yeah. Yes. There we have it. We have both of our sticks of RAM installed, so we have a total of 32 gigabytes here. Awesome. So now we're ready to actually take a look at the mounting bracket, which I think on this one, thanks Carol over on Facebook for the like on the stream. Thanks, Grandma. We actually don't need to take a look at the mounting brackets because I already know they use the stock brackets here. So this is actually good to go and ready to go into the case. So I'm going to set this aside. We're going to zoom out and get the case out. I already have the case out. I just need to, hey, camera, stop zooming in. Quit being a rebel. Get this case, this massive Montech King 95 case. For any of our longtime followers, I told y'all we'd be building a lot more of these. So here we are. The next one is also a Montech King also. So the next build tomorrow. Absolutely love these cases. They're very stylish and have a lot of awesome features on them. Just going through and removing the panels that we need to access. That way we can simply just access them. I guess one complaint that I had last time, which I do remember, is this panel being a pain in the butt to remove. I don't know if you all remember that. The Beast PC Builder in Twitch. The best. I like to think of myself as a beast, though. What's up, Bester? How's it going, man? You guys playing without me? We're gonna have to figure that out. Regardless, we're there. Alright, so now we are ready to drop this motherboard in here and get our mounting hardware out and move on to getting the fans installed and cables plugged in. Making sure all of our mounting all of our studs are in place. Beast! You are a beast, bro. Thank you. I feel like a beast. Right now, anyway. all the work I've had to do this week has been crazy. All right. So we've got our awesome organized King 95 hardware kit here that comes with your case. Which, by the way, if you guys are interested in this case or ever looking for features, that front panel actually can be swapped out with a mesh panel that is included. So you could actually go, instead of glass, and make it mesh to actually help the airflow even more. Although I'm going to keep it glass for this unique setup. So that's not going to change here this time. All right. We need some motherboard screws to mount this board. Here they are. And then I think we've got a total of 9 screws to secure the board. And then we'll start getting some of the case connections plugged into the motherboard so we can get that out of the way. And then we'll start tackling the fans and the cooler. You still have to order the new case. Nice. Yeah, this thing I really like as well. It's one of my recommendations anytime somebody wants like a Lee 011 Dynamic but doesn't want to spend $150 on a case. We can go to something like this and spend, you know, save $50. It just opens the door so you can spend the $50 somewhere else but still have the same look as the 011 Dynamic. But it has its own uniqueness to it as well. It's the same dual chamber design as the Lee 011 Dynamic, but we're only going to be able to do 2 fans there. But the you know, it's got the same design, but it's got a curve to it, which makes it a little bit unique. It's different. All right, flip it back over and get to these connections on the back here. And these are the I/O shield, or the I/O power button, the reset button, your USB 3, your USB-C, all that. I'm pretty sure I'm holding right here USB-C and 3. We're going to be running this probably up towards the middle of the board. Definitely USB-C. USB 3 is definitely going to run here. There we have it. And then we have a panel connector, which we know is going to be towards the bottom of the board here. And then we also have HD audio, which we also know is going to be in the bottom of the board over here in this corner. And then I have an addressable RGB link, which I'm going to keep in the back here because I think we're going to have to connect that to a chain. There's our USB-C. Our USB 3.0 connection, and then our front panel connector here. And then our front panel audio, HD audio, which is going to go here at the bottom of the board. I know you guys can't really see it with my hand in the way, sorry. Hey Steve, welcome back to the stream, sir. Hello, now own all the Fallout games except for Fallout 76. Nice! That's a huge library alone with just those games. Alright, hold on, let me grab one item here that I forgot. Okay, I'm right back. So there we go, we got all our case connections done. Now we can start on the fans. Definitely going to start on these bottom fans, get this out of the way. Going to pull this filter out just in case. I think we have to remove it anyway. These are all going to be intake on the bottom, so we got to make sure we mount them correctly, and also make sure that they are yeah, just mount them correctly. I think that's really our target, right? Our goal. But you know, we got to route these cables in a logical way. So you can also do, it looks like 3 140mm fans here on the bottom. 2 for sure. I don't know about the third, but it looks like you could definitely do 2 if you wanted to do 140s, but I'd rather do the 3 120mm fans here. Oops. I just kind of sprayed the screws everywhere. Opening that package. think we're actually going to be using a different type of screw for this. Hold your roll. Up, hold up. You got to use these radiator fans for the fans on the bottom. They're threaded holes. This is great company. They really care about the quality of their products. Very much love your computers. So thank you, Cameron. Much appreciated, sir. And welcome to the build stream, sir. And also, thank you for taking care of our customer out in Florida the other day. I guess that's actually a pretty cool story. We had a customer with a PC that was purchased back in 2020, I think it was, 2020 or 2021. And it was actually out of warranty already. You know, even with a 2-year warranty, that it's already been that long. So, but coming up to, I think, the 3rd year in service, the power supply failed on it. And we, you know, I shopped around a local company out in Florida to see if these guys could help. And Cameron, actually, him and his buddy actually run a really cool company down there for service, IT services and computer repair. But they picked up the phone first call, was very professional, knew exactly what I was talking about, because we already knew it was the power supply. So I just was like, hey, you guys got a 750 watt power supply, and when can you do it? They're like, well, we could go out there today and do it. So they had the power supply swapped out within less than, I think, like 8 hours of the incident happening. So that's pretty cool. And then we covered that bill for them, because we didn't want them to be down too long, you know. But I think that's the quickest we've ever had a computer repaired out of state. Out of state, that is. By anybody, and the professionalism of those guys were awesome. If you're in the Florida area and you need any type of service, definitely check them out. And their company name is currently escaping my mind. Cameron, you are more than welcome to share that. I'm sorry, I've got a lot going on in my head. I'll have to pull it back up. But it's good to have those types of connections, especially in different states when you're ship PCs to different states, because you never know when you're going to have one serviced. So knowing guys in different states that do technical work really kind of, you know, creates that network. Because it would be way more expensive to have them ship the PC back to me for me to service it, when I could find somebody I trust locally to do the work. That's way cheaper than shipping it back and forth. And a lot faster. It would take probably, what, 4 or 5 days to get back here from Florida if they shipped it ground. And then, you know, 1 day for me to go through it and resolve it, and then it wouldn't ship out probably till the next business day, which could be a weekend. And you could be looking at, you know, 2 weeks before you get your computer back. And it's just because of the shipping time. So definitely good to have people local. Hey Paul, thanks for that like over there on Facebook, sir. I appreciate that. But that's my mentality when something happens with a PC that is out of state. I try to get it serviced locally if it's possible. And I do bet everybody that we are working with, so if I've got a red flag, then I'm not going to use them, you know? So we just put one zip tie here to kind of grab a hold of the cables that are running along the side here so they're not just flopping in the wind there. Along the side of the fans, we got them all cleaned up and tidied up. There we go. Our bottom intake fans are installed. Physically in. There's all three of our fans on the bottom here, ready to go. We do have to plug them in on the back side though, but that'll be a little bit later. So we can move on to the side fans. Now, Montech said on their website that we can install 3 fans here, but I don't think 3 fans are going to install on the side here at all. I don't see that happening, you know? They just physically don't look like they're gonna fit. We do get them to fit though, I mean that would be awesome, because I know Kalvin wanted 3 there, and the website literally lists them as 3. 3 120mm fans will fit on the side, it says. Or at least that is what I read. If not, we'll just put the 3rd one on the rear. Call it a day. Hey, Silicon EUV. GPU and CPU in this build, it is going to be a Ryzen 7 7800X 3D along with a RTX 4070 Ti. So, got some horsepower under the hood. And the 3D cache is definitely going to give that 4070 Ti a little extra boost. You know? And that's going to be on a, you know, with AM5, with the AM5 platform. Yeah, I think we were right around $2,000 for this build, or in that ballpark. But we also have, you know, like a Seasonic 850 watt gold power supply, so we did pay a little bit more for a higher quality power supply. And then, you know, we paid for some Leon Lee fans here that we're installing. So there's a little bit of expense that we could have tightened down a little bit if we had a little more time to get the parts, but I was sourcing these parts from Micro Center because I wanted to get this, he wanted the build done fast, so, or we wanted to get the build done fast for him. So I had to source locally. Looks like we're only going to be doing 2. Can we even fit 3 here? I need to see if we could fit 3. It's physically possible. Not bad, yeah. Not bad at all. He's set up on the AM5 platform that'll last a good couple of years too. So didn't have any worries about upgrades for the next couple of years. On the AM5 platform, that's going to last a bit. Yeah, this isn't, we're going to have to go 2 fans on the side here. 3 is just not going to, nope. We'll move that here in just a moment. I'm going to have to figure out why I thought this was going to fit 3. They listed it doing such. Maybe it's a Micro Center error on their website. Always available. That's always. I always believe that someone should not buy a cheap power. Oh yeah, 100%. Do not cheap out on the power supply. So if you see something that says a PVIA for the power supply, run away from it. Those are fire starters. Not a fan of that brand. Only because I've used them in the past, back when I was flipping PCs, and part of flipping PCs is to do it as cheap as possible. So you want to reduce the amount of parts that you're spending money on. But, you know, that was one of the cheaper brands of power supplies back then, when I was doing it. And I had way too many of those things fail. You know, they are just trash. No offense, Apivia. I like your cases. That's really it. Power supplies, I wouldn't touch with a 10-foot pole. Today. Especially with a lot of these high-demanding power parts. And, you know, more expensive parts. Avoid that. I guess I could have routed the cables. That's probably what they wanted you to do, but... I might just route this sucker down here. Come in like that. Yeah. Alright, there we go. We've got our side fans installed and our bottom fans. Now we just need to get our rear. Then we want to get our EPS cables in. Then we could put our cooler in. And go from there. We're actually looking really good here. Looking real good. Yeah, the more valuable the hardware, the more expensive I recommend your, or the, I guess, better premium power supply I recommend buying. Because if the power supply goes, it could take everything with it. There's potential. Doesn't mean it's going to happen every time. But it is possible. I have seen it with my own eyes. Alright, we're going to be mounting this guy as an exhaust on the rear. Rear fan. All right, let's get our EPS cables out. And then we'll get our cooler installed next after this. A shop here in town for over 40 years would not sell anything but Thermaltake power supplies. And I had been building with them and never had one fail. Yeah, Thermaltake's great. Yeah, I've used Thermaltake for many years now. I mean, gosh. But I use a lot of their 1,000 watt power supply, 1,000 watt 80 plus golds with the 16 pin PCIe 5.0 cable. I use a lot of those here. Those are really nice power supplies for the price. And if anybody's looking for a 1,000 watt power supply right now, that is the, you know, and you're on a budget, I think it's like $140 right now, which is a steal, in my opinion, for you. You're basically stealing it. Most 1,000 watt power supplies that are 80 plus gold are in the 180 plus range. So you're saving like 40 bucks. Pretty good deal. If you're shopping around looking for a power supply that's 1,000 watts and it's 80 plus gold, Thermal Take is the winner of that right now. Thermal Take takes the chicken dinner. Alright, there we go. We got our EPS cables in, so now we know when we put the radiator in, we won't have to deal with trying to cram our fingers in there later. It'll all be done. I'm just making it so if I have to pull these cables out to get it around the cooler, I can, without them getting snagged or tangled into each other later when I'm putting that cooler in. But talking about that cooler, let's go ahead and tackle that. Got a feeling we're going to have to rotate these fans just like always. The pre-installed fans. Protecting a $1,000 GPU, it's worth it 100%. Protect your investment. We're going to rotate these fans around real quick. Get them facing the right direction. Just like always. Some giant idiot. Hey, what's up, Tiger Face? What's with the F? Back noise? Right. All these twist ties. That's what's F. I mean, honestly. Could we have more twist ties? Alright. So now we gotta meticulously... I know this bracket can come off this case and we can put it on and then just seat it in, and it would probably be a hell of a lot easier than doing what I'm about to do. But I don't like doing things the easy way. We live! What's up? Live from the Empower studio. Just building PCs and things, you know? Going back to the roots. By the way, did everybody hear? Hopefully nobody here. Oh gosh, nobody here is using one. But Cable Mod recalled their elbow adapters, or I guess any of their angled adapters, what they call them. But any of their angled adapters for the 16-pin connection, which is at 600 watt for the 4090, 4080, 4070 Ti, 4070 Ti Super, etc. Those have been recalled. If you don't know about it, go check your email. You probably got an email from Cable Mod. Is that related to the... Yes. Yep. But it's the angle adapter. So it just connects to like the video card and then gives you like an L angle to it. And then you connect your cable to it. So that way it's not being smashed up against the glass. But apparently those are causing melting hazards. And they said they reported something like $75,000 worth of damage already. So they're doing a full recall. So, that being said, if you have one of those, take a look at your email. You likely got an email from Cable Mod with instructions on how to go about that recall. I read that earlier today, and I was like, ah, shit. Because I recommended people to use those a while ago. You know, you just can't win today. Especially with those stupid connectors that NVIDIA just had to force. NVIDIA had to force those connectors down everybody's throats. And it's like, seriously? All these problems because of a new connector, why couldn't we just stick with the PCIe 8.0? But that's why I tell everybody, you know, go direct. From the power supply to the graphics card, direct connection. Try to avoid using the streamers if you can. I know I'm not doing that here, but this isn't a 4090, this is a 4070 Ti. Are you guys good with PCs? I mean, all we do is build PCs, dude. I think we're good. I like to think of myself as pretty good with PCs. ATX 3.0 PSUs are still on the expensive side. They're actually coming down in price. I was just talking about that also before you jumped in, some giant idiot. The price of a 1000 watt 80 plus gold PCIe 5.0 ATX 3.0 power supply is about $140, and that's a Thermaltake power supply, and they're great. So the prices on power supplies, I think, are coming around. But yes, if you have one of those angled adapters by Cable Mod, you should probably check your email and look for a recall. Or be on the lookout for one, at least. Let's all go through this one. If I can. What do you mean I didn't open that yet? Because I'm an idiot. Some giant idiot? I'm an idiot tonight. So, I'm gonna borrow your name for a brief moment if you don't mind. I hope you're okay with me taking or sharing your name temporarily. I'm making this look way more complicated than it actually is, just an FYI. Installing an AIO is not this complicated. I'm just making it look way more complicated. You mind if I send you components I'm looking at to buy? Yeah, go for it. Send them over. You're probably going to be best to either send it to the Twitter account or to the Facebook account. Just message us there on the Facebook page or the Twitter page. That'll probably be the easiest way to chat directly one-on-one with us. And then just let me know that you sent it, and I'll take a look at it here in just a moment. I'm definitely making this harder than it has to be. Holy crap. Okay. Get in there, you foul beast. Nobody look. I'm not going to lie, I don't have Twitter or Facebook. Okay. You can email it to me at, which is support@empoweredgamingpcs.com. It's on the website. I can put it in the chat here. You might be able to drop the URL in here. I'm actually not sure if that's going to let you or not. I think Twitch is going to block that. Oh gosh. Oh, there it is. Thank you. Thank you, some giant idiot. I just sent it as soon as I saw it. Much appreciated. But if you want to email it over there, just let me know when you sent it, and I can take a look. And run through it real quick with you here. But we are one of the best PC builders in the state of Michigan. Not many of us up here in Michigan. Not many good PC builders here in Michigan. There's a few. There's a few good guys. I don't know if there's any good gals that build PCs, but definitely some good guys up here. But only a few. Not like California where there's like every other street there's another YouTuber that builds PCs. I'm the worst PC builder in the UK. Nice to meet you. Sometimes I'm the worst PC builder in Michigan. Ew, California. Yeah, that Californication stuff. OP. I guess it's OR, overrated. Having summer all year, basically. Gross. Oh dear. Oh man. Y'all gotta behave here. Now beside that. There. I actually have no idea how I'm gonna get this there. Did not think of that one. Run along the side here. I don't know. Have to zip it up. System fan. Where's my pump? Why are pumps way down there for gigabyte boards? It's just so stupid. Like maybe for like a liquid build that makes sense, like an open loop. Most people are doing AIOs. Disagree with that location. tremendously. Almost as bad as people from New Jersey. Hey, some New Jersey people are okay. I actually know a lot of people from New Jersey. They're actually really cool people. They moved here to Michigan because they want to get out of New Jersey. New Jersey. Hey, thanks for the follow there, British lad. I'm taking the time and zip tying this so the cable doesn't kind of like bounce around everywhere on us. Look gross. Who likes gross cables? Not I. Righto. Got me thinking British, and here I am going, righto. You sent it over? What I've looked at so far? Alright, let me go grab my phone real quick. Oh, I've got a British duck. Holy crap. British duck. You sent me an email. I actually said that out loud. I was thinking it, I'm not gonna lie. Hey, where'd it go? It may have gone to spam. No. Well, that's interesting. It's not here. That was completely unintentional, by the way. It just came out. Okay. It was here, and now it's not here. Thanks, Outlook. I appreciate you screwing me. So I'm waiting for the Outlook to sync. Is the CPU a 7800X 3D? Yes. Yes, it is. Here, have a good zoom on that. Can you see it? We have a 20x on this bad boy, so we can zoom in all the way to the writing on the CPU and just read that 7800X 3D. More! Yeah, for some reason... Oh, there we go. It finally synced, by the way. The email just came up. So let me zoom back out here. So you can see my messy desk that I'm working on right now. Alright, so we've got the motherboard, which is an Asus ROG Strix B650A gaming Wi-Fi. AMD, it is the B650, so you're going AM5 here. 32 gigs, 216, DDR5, 5600 megahertz. So right off the rip there, for the RAM, I would not go 5600 megahertz. I would go for AMD, I would go 6400 or 6000 megahertz and try to get the CL number as low as possible. So I would not go any higher than CL36 for the RAM, for your CAS latency. So for example, I'd go DDR5, 32 gigs, 6000 megahertz, CL30. That's what you would want to run. Or is 6400 megahertz, CL32. That's probably what you would want to run for AMD AM5 for the 7000 series. All-in-one hydro cooler. I assume that, yeah, it's a H100i RGB Elite, so it's a Corsair cooler. AMD Ryzen 7 7800X3D. That's the same processor we're actually installing right now, so it's a good pair on that board. ROG Strix, you could probably save some money and not go with an ROG Strix motherboard, though. If you are looking for places to save money, to buy better RAM, buy something like this, which is the, what is it called? This was way cheaper than that ROG Strix board. Gigabyte B650 Gaming X AX version 2 by Gigabyte. This board would save you the money that you could put towards faster RAM if you want to keep it in the same budget. Good anyway. I don't know if that prices are, you know, the same differential over there, or if all these parts are even available in the UK. I'm actually not sure. This bundle is so cheap with the motherboard, CPU, RAM, and cooler. Okay, well, I mean, then yeah, go do it. Then you've got a Seagate FireCuda 532 terabyte. In the US, you can actually do better with like a Silicon Power M.2 SSD, like the Silicon Power US75 is what it's called. And you can get a 2 terabyte for I think $125 or $124. And that thing is as fast as the Samsung 990 Pro, which is super fast. So just keep that in mind with storage. Shop around. Don't stick with the Seagate FireCuda if you don't have to anyway, is what I'm saying. Corsair RM Series 1000 watt. The 1000 watt is a little overkill for the 4070 Super and the Ryzen 7 7800X3D. You can probably save some money and do an 850 watt. But if you are looking to have a little wattage available for future upgrades, having that 1000 watt would allow you to go all the way up to a 4090 if you wanted to, or future graphics cards that may be more power hungry. But the 1000 watt is a place where you can save money if you need to up front right now. I was looking at the problem. Is there a problem I have to send back to US? Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, especially if you're buying parts from here. Are you buying parts from the US? You guys don't have a distributor there in the UK? And a reseller? It's a UK company. Got it. Got it. So it's kind of like Micro Center, but for the UK. I know they have one over there, and I think they have one in Europe too. Similar to Micro. And it's not Micro Center, but it's similar. Oh yeah, gotcha. Dude, Max, what are you doing? Puppers is going nuts over here all of a sudden. Alright, back to pasting and building. But overall, it's a solid build. Nothing wrong with that build at all. It's going to give you some really good 1440p 4K performance. So you'll be able to dabble, definitely play in 1440p. You'll be able to also dabble in 4K. Comfortably, we'll say. And that will be with most demanding titles. And you got a ray tracing card, so you'll be able to, you know, enable the ray tracing and really enjoy the eye candy, for example, on like Cyberpunk. Enjoy the eye candy. But it's a well-rounded build. Thanks for the device. I'll look at the RAM. Yeah, that would be like the one place that I would change, is definitely change that RAM out for 6000 CL30 or 6400 CL32. I think that's enough space between the graphics cards. I also hope I peeled the peel. Pretty sure I did. Yeah, right here. I peeled it. I did it. What are we at? 1 hour, 10 minutes. Oh man, we're actually doing pretty good, timing wise. This is gonna be back over. But I don't know why that cable just does not want to work with me. Okay, so now that that's all said and done, right? Cables are pissing me off too. Okay. We can probably get the strimmers in. The 24 pin. We got our 24 pin and our 16 pin strimmers. Hey, dad bods and drop shots. A little Thursday night build action. Yes, sir. If you're looking for a lullaby, I can put you to sleep within just a few minutes. Steve Anderson. Whenever I think of the UK, I think of Raspberry Pi. I still get mine out and tinker with it. It's fun. Yeah. Actually, have never dove into a Raspberry Pi before. Not the Pi, but the actual technology. Still haven't done that. It's nothing against it at all. It's just I've never had the opportunity to play around with it. We did it! What did we do? What did we do, some giant idiot? What happened? Got me all excited. I don't need the help. Went to a concert in Ferndale last night. Oh, that nice. They got out pretty late. Yeah, so you're probably feeling it. Probably feeling it. Dug a hole yesterday. We did great. Okay. Glad we did. I'm a little confused though. Not gonna lie. I don't know what I did great. Like, nope, not done yet. Can't possibly be talking about this. Here's our 24-pin Lee addressable RGB strimmers. That's what light, you know, the RGB light up cables. Now this guy is going to be a vertical adapter. So I'm trying to get it as low as I can here. We're going to take out all of these. I don't think I need to remove the top one. We're going vertical. Something tells me I should have the card in here first. Which I agree with that. Card time. Six up to 6 today for work. Oh dang. Daddy-daughter dance tomorrow, so I need to get some sleep. Oh yeah, you need to catch up on that sleep, sir. Need to recover. Recoup. Re-energize. Recharge the battery. Here's our RTX 4070 Ti. Might be important to do all this. If you didn't know, most graphics cards have these little peels on the front of the fan, right at the center. And it's usually good to remove those because if they come undone, they get tangled up in your fan or will restrict airflow in on the fins. Somewhere in the case. So it's a good idea to take care of that. On a positive note, my cables will be delivered tomorrow so I can start building my PC potentially this weekend. Awesome. Let me know if you need anything. Or where to find me. I think I have like I think Sunday I'm going to be busy, but Saturday I think I'm not. Other than walk-ins and support and service and all that. Normal Saturday stuff. By the way, this vertical bracket is by Fantex. Highly recommend it. Especially for, you know, not a super heavy card. Like a 4070 Ti. Definitely a great bracket for this card. Normally I use the Cooler Master Universals, but in this situation I did not have to use those because all of these brackets came off the rear of that case, which made it so that I could use this bracket. There she is. Now, how do you guys think we should be routing this strimmer cable for the graphics card? I think it should go like... maybe. Maybe I like it, maybe I don't. The other problem is, I think, I'm gonna switch this around. They're facing the wrong way. We gotta reverse them. Going back to my YouTube video on how to reverse strimmers. We got to get the lights on the opposite side because the clip's on the wrong side. Ah! Basically, it's a couple of clips that you just have to push out of the way, pull the RGB strip off the cable, and then you'll flop the cable around where you need it, and then you put the little clips back on to hold the rest of the cables on the back to the RGB lights. They also include white, if you need to swap out these black ones to white ones. They also include those, so you could do that. But we're not doing a white build, we are doing a black. So not needed. There we go. Hold on, okay. So I went up and over like this. You think that looks good? Don't worry, the RAM is not RGB. Hey, Brett Shot, what's up? Yo! Oh, you doing that Black King 95 build? Yes! How's it going so far? It's going good. The only thing I think we might have messed up on during the craziness of we're looking for parts, throwing it in a cart, and trying to get out the door all at the same time, as well as getting approved to buy 2 Ryzen 7 7800X 3Ds, whatever. Not saying it's anybody's fault. It's my fault ultimately, but the Seasonic Focus, and I know I asked you for the Focus. I think it was I needed the one with the PCIe 5.0 support. So I'm gonna have to use the adapter, but it's okay. No big deal. Not the end of the world. That's the only other thing I think that we might have missed. And also, I did need a Cooler Master vertical bracket for this, and I forgot it straight up. So, yeah, it is the 2.0 version. It's no big deal. I just you know, during the build, I'm like, huh, oops, because I should have checked. It's my bad. No, it's my bad. I should have checked. It was sitting in front of me in the cart in the line trying to check out for like 15 minutes and I didn't look. So I could have done something about that. Nobody's bad. It is what it is. But it's still a great power supply. I'm not at all saying it's bad power supply. This is a 4070 Ti, so it's not like it's going to be running 600 watts through that adapter. So I'm not at all worried about it. At all. So but yeah, and then the universal vertical bracket, I forgot to make sure that was added to the cart. I even looked and went down the list and still missed it. So it was probably me. My fault. And then, but I did have a Fantex vertical bracket here, so I could use that. Got an ad. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that means you're not a subscriber. I'm not expecting you to subscribe. I mean, well. Very good looking. Thank you, some giant idiot. By the way, Brett is my Micro Center, one of my Micro Center contacts, but he's my primary. I've got his cell. He and I chat regularly. So if you guys need anything from Micro Center, ask Brett. And then make sure you go see him when you're in the store over here in Michigan. Right. Is that how it works? I think that's how it should work. Oh, it's scary on this side. I was just down there the other day, LOL, grabbed my motherboard and SSD. Nice. Nice. Well, Brett, I was saying, if anybody needs anything from Micro Center, to talk to you right now, because you are the go-to Micro Center dude for PCs. Parts. So, trying to hook you up with more context. But we've got all of our stuff plugged in on the front side. Now we have to get everything plugged in on the back side. And this is the scary mess part, where you look at it and you want to throw up a little bit, or stop building pieces because you're like, what did I do to myself? As you are putting this together. No, maybe right here. These ST. That's the big problem with these ST120s compared to what we've been completely spoiled by Leon Lee. These are all hands on her. Hold on a minute. Oh, and then, yeah, there's... have a little Leon Lee hub party here. Last, we have ATS cable over here that will run. Okay. Okay. I think I know what I'm doing. Yeah, he's in Michigan. Dad Buds is in Michigan, yes. I think these are 4-pin, right? Yeah. 4 pins. Ruled them all. The other thing I forgot is that these ST120s I don't think come with a... Do they? They do. Never mind. I'll shut up. I'm special. Up in Orion? Oh, very nice. If you ever come into Micro Center, see a tall guy with a beard. Yeah. Look for the tall guy. I feel like there's a Lord of the Rings movie. At dawn, look to the east. Look for the white guy with a beard. You know, the white robe dude. That sounds terrible. I need to shut up sooner. All right. There's a fan hub. We'll send this down here towards the bottom and get that PWM connected. But while we're doing these, I want to try to get all these plugged in too, so they're as neat as possible here, because I'm gonna tame all these damn cables. Where's my I'm missing one down here, so it must have gotten... There it is. I promise I know what I'm doing. Sometimes. There we go. 3, 6, so we want this one here. We could actually plug all of the fans into this one, which is cool. Ugh. These cables are a pain in the butt too. FYI. So is that why you gave me the weird face, Brett? When I said ST120s, you kind of looked at me funny? Is it because there's so many dang cables on these things? Kind of gave me like a weird look when I said ST120. Felt a weird vibe. Like something was missing. One of these days, I'll take a trip down there always wanted to go to a Micro Center. Yes, it's well worth it. Although I will say, the moment you step in that store, your wallet just somehow gets lighter. And I don't know why. Yep. I knew it. I figured that's why you gave me that weird look. Like, are you crazy? There's Cadillacs, Ben. Why are you buying the Honda? Hyundai. Is this even the right cable? I'm actually second guessing myself right now, guys. Oh boy. Here we go. I may not have used the correct harness. There's no way. Well, okay. Apparently this is for that thing, and I messed it up. Get this thing as far away from me as possible, please. Thank you. He's speaking facts. If you don't plan on buying anything, leave the wallet in the car. Yes! Every time I walk into that store, I buy something stupid that I didn't need. I mean, it's not stupid, but you know what I mean. Like, I could have lived life without it. But it did make, you know, it easier to live with it. Generally speaking, right? That could be an argument to be had. Alright. We're getting somewhere, I think. Here with our cable management. I think the majority of my builds is cable management. Some of which is self-inflicted by selecting the ST120s. By the way, I think the Micro Center website has the Montec King 95 listed wrong. I think it lists 3 fans here on the side. We could only put 2 here, 120s. But it lists, I believe it lists it as supporting 3. Which is why I bought 6 fans plus 1, because I plan to put 3 here. It can only fit 2. Important selling point if people are buying fans for the case. something to note. I like the case, though. We're all plugged in. Except for having to... Second. I don't know how to... Up here. Gonna start the thing. And then hopefully, you know, something will happen. I'm just gonna start zipping and something will happen, right? Magic. A little bit of that. Come on, you. Get in there. Get with the program, sir. Boing. What do you think of that so far? I turned a nightmare into something somewhat semi-pretty. Hoping that I don't have to use a splitter here. I know I have splitters here, but another thing I did not think of. Splitter for the addressable RGB. The abundance of RGB. Got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we'll come back and zip tie these. But we do need to find a home for a couple of RGB connections, a PWM fan connection. Oh, Oh! And this does have a splitter. Cool. Forgot about that too. Where'd you go? There you are. Actually gonna slip you underneath. Shove you up there. Get you connected here. Nice. You know, one thing I didn't think of is, hey, if we put the graphics card in now, we can't get to the bottom of the motherboard. Ah! Crap. Can you just sit there for a second? Thank you. Alright, so we got one. Here's our PWM. But I sent both through here. Uh-huh. Well, these are going to go that way anyway. Almost there, guys. All we got to do is a little bit more cables management, and then we slap a power supply in here. Also have to re-add the card, but that's not a big deal. It takes 2 seconds. Then we're firing this bad boy up. So we are literally at the home stretch right now. We're at the home stretch. Oh yeah, I gotta plug in the streamers too before I put this card back in. Don't let me forget that. That would have been awkward. Oh yeah, the streamers. I didn't really think about how many cables this PC was going to produce. Was not a thought. A lot of extra cables. One USB connection, that's all we need to deal with here. Okay, so that that's done, right? We can put the card back in. Yay, we're going back to the forward. Nobody else saw that, right? Nobody saw that, right? Holy shit, I just realized my microphone was way up. Sorry. Must have grabbed it from underneath and spun it up. I always forget to check that too. But, sorry about that. That was a mosquito. And I have no idea how it's in here, because nobody's gone in and out of this house all day today. Or at least recently. They're waking up because it is getting warm. But that was interesting. Just a random mosquito in February flying by. Okay. Alright. Lots of... Oh, yep, you popped loose. Of course you did. Why wouldn't you? Don't tell me I have to tape you. Alright, let's drop the power supply in here, then we'll finish this mess up here, and then get this bad boy up. We already opened this sucker up a little bit here earlier. Get those EPS cables out. Didn't know PSUs came in headphone bags. Yeah, the premium ones come in fancy packaging. So, you buy a fancy enough computer, you will have fancy packaging. Or fancy enough computer parts, anyway. Power supply. Not all parts do that. But another example would be the Trident Z Royal RAM by G-Skill. They come in this elaborate package. It probably also depends on the brand. Yeah, it does. Definitely. Like Seasonic, they're very well known for quality, and you already know if you're buying Seasonic, you're paying for the quality. So, high quality, high price. Come on. Got peripherals here. And I know this is a a fully modular power supply, and we don't necessarily need to add all of these cables. I've just had too many customers come back for upgrades and their cables be missing because we didn't put them in, or they didn't put them in, or whatever the case may be. So I like to install all the cables and just zip tie them into the back of the PC. That way we know they're going to be in there, unless of course it's a unique enthusiast build that we're doing. Then maybe we wouldn't do that, but I always make sure that we have the cables in there. Currently running a 750 watt gold Silverstone. Silverstone's a good brand. I got back in 2020, but plan to upgrade for future proofing. Shouldn't have to upgrade the power supply unless you're upgrading your graphics card. That's really where the need for the power is going to be, is on your power supply. If you're not even bothering with the power supply or with the graphics card at this time, I wouldn't even spend the money on the power supply. I would just save that money at that point. I promise. And we'll be able to see this thing fired up for the first time. See what it looks like. Oh yeah. Don't forget to peel your peels also. Very important. Or their dog ate the cables. Oh, gosh. Yeah, or their dog ate the cables, yes. That would be terrible, especially if it was a live cable. Never had that type of service call before yet. And I hope to never have one like that. Right. Then we grab our EPS cables here. We'll run these down. Get these plugged into the power supply as well. Probably should have plugged these in before I put that power supply in. Heard it? But I'm special, so that. There we go. I thought there was more than just these two. Oh, wasn't there? Shit. Connected. Try to do everything correctly. Oh, that's for that. That's why. But I gotta verify this. Yeah, this is not the right one. That's a good show. Because now getting the right one over there is going to be a pain in the... So there's this little teeny tiny connection down here that I'm trying to get plugged in with my big fat fingers in between a very tight power supply and a case. Cables are both not long enough, I think. I guess the question is when does it become stupid to keep trying? Oh, got it. Never mind. Good, I said that. Okay. Now we're good. Glad I caught that, because that would have been stupid. Montech makes some pretty sick-looking budget-friendly cases. Oh yeah, 100%. I love their lineup. This is the Montech King 95. Not the Pro, so I didn't include the fans. We had to add them ourselves. That was no big deal. Honestly, probably just a bundled mess up here at this point. I tried. This case, there's just one channel to rule them all here for your cables. And having all the power supply cables in here just doesn't help. much mustard. You gotta be... It's undone again? What the hell? I'm starting to get pissed off with this. Okay, nobody look at it funny. Ooh, the 750 watt has just barely enough power in my 4070 with a 14900K with 120 watts to spare. There you go. What I'm saying, like, power supply may not be needed. By the way, you didn't have to do everything that I just did there. My panel comes off pretty simply. I'm just an idiot. All right, we're ready to fire this up. I'm just going to clean this up really quick here. Then I get all this extra hardware out of my face. All right. Who's ready to see this thing fired up? Finally. It's really just aesthetics. Some cases, like in this situation, if you look, we've got 3 fans directly below it. So that's 3 fans of direct intake air being blown on the graphics card, evenly distributed as it gets sucked through the heat sink on this one. So this one is actually a logical design to do it because it will offer better cooling versus your standard. Although, if it was standard, it would be pretty much doing the same thing or close to it. This mostly is just for aesthetics. Everybody ready to see this thing fired up? Yeah. I don't normally do it unless it's a request. Gotta wait for that motherboard to post with the CPU, the RAM, and the GPU. It's also DDR5, so there's probably gonna be a little bit of extra timing on the extra time for the DDR5 RAM training, but we are posted. Actually, relatively quick. Remembering back when DDR5 first came out, that post would have been up to a minute. No, that was quick. That was fast. That was probably the fastest I've ever seen a DDR5 first boot post. Pretty badass looking though. Jeez. Kalvin, your PC's on fire. That's a metaphor, figuratively speaking. And we are in the BIOS. Fire. We should have this thing, we got built today. We have to install Windows and do all the drivers and all that. We have to install Windows and do the drivers and all that stuff, so it is going to take a little bit of time there. So I should have this ready for pickup tomorrow. Keep getting a load optimize defaults then boot. Why are we getting that? We'll probably replace the PSU I have when I get a newer motherboard and a 14900K 306mm AIO and use my 750 watt PSU towards PC for the little bro. There you go. Some spare parts. Keeps telling me the system has experienced a boot failure, possibly due to incorrect configuration. There is no freaking configuration on it. Does this board need a BIOS update for the 7800X 3D? I can't see what light that is. Hang on. Give me a boot error. That's special. Well, let's try a BIOS flash. It's a Chaos Gremlin refusing to work. That's pretty much where we're at. I'm gonna go download the BIOS on my PC, plug it in, and we'll just do a BIOS update from the board. So two things we're going to try. Where did I put the keyboard? I lost my mind. Okay. Two things we're going to try. First thing is to clear CMOS. Don't know why we have to do this on a brand new board. Same results. So now we're just going to do the BIOS update. This is new. So we've got, hopefully what it's doing is a BIOS update right now using the Q flash. Because I can't even get into the BIOS. The BIOS actually sits there and says, hey, we failed to boot, and it doesn't let me do anything. So I tried resetting the BIOS default, did nothing. Now I'm trying to do a BIOS update on the board. So this is very interesting. So either I have some really fucked up RAM, excuse my French, messed up RAM, messed up CPU, or board, I don't know. But I'm trying to do a Q-Flash BIOS update from the back. There should be a light flashing here on the back, and it's not. That's the Ethernet light. Don't need that. But it did say wait 6 to 8 minutes and the flashing would stop. But it hasn't flashed. You also have to have a FAT32 formatted flash drive. You can't do it with an NTFS. And you have to rename the actual BIOS file to gigabyte.bin, which is weird. But it stayed on this time, so... Not sure if there's anything else I have to do here except for wait. I don't know. But this is extremely obnoxious because this is a brand new motherboard, brand new CPU, and brand new RAM. All bundled together from Micro Center. Save some cost, but WTF. Still has not started flashing or anything. I think I'm just gonna power cycle it. I'm getting more and more irritated here as we go. It must want to be annoying, I know, right? It's just frustrating because it's a brand new board. Sold with the CPU in a bundle with the RAM. It can't possibly not work, right? I have another exact bundle that we're going to be building with tomorrow, so if the same problem happens, I've been going into that micro center and speaking some languages. Being like, why? If this is like an issue, I don't know. I can't be the only person that's bought this bundle. There's no flashing, the Q flash. It just shows a CPU light now at this point. That's it. No flashing, nothing. No derp, nothing. No response out of it. Guess we just wait the 6 to 8 minutes and see what happens. Still in the same situation. To the point where I'm suspecting the RAM could be bad, or there could be an issue with the motherboard, or even possibly the CPU. One of the three items might possibly be the problem. I'm just trying to rule out any compatibility issues with the board and the CPU by making sure it's got the latest BIOS version. And it's always possible we got an open box, though everything seemed like it was sealed. Meaning, it was not a brand new board. Somebody else had a CPU in there before. Possible. I've already reset the BIOS. The only other thing I haven't done is pull the battery. But I'm letting the Q-Flash run one more time just to make sure it did go through. Because there's no way for me to actually see what it's doing, unfortunately, with Q-Flash. Which is just doing the BIOS update using the button on the back. It's a recovery method. If you brick the board, you can actually plug your BIOS in using a FAT32 drive and push the Q-Flash button, and it will recover the BIOS. So, we'll see what it does here. I'm gonna look something up real quick just to see. So it says the system has experienced a boot failure, possibly due to incorrect configuration. Previous settings in BIOS may not be compatible with current hardware state. Oh. Here, don't have any memory and see what you do. I've got another kit here of the same RAM. So we'll try that next. I mean, I have no idea. Instead of the 1400K, looks like AMD is stubborn. It's not an AMD problem. This is a specific motherboard issue. Or it's a RAM issue. Or it's a CPU issue. But instead of the 1400K, might try AMD out for something different. I mean, they're good CPUs. This is not normal behavior. Yeah, we're still getting boot failure detected, load optimized defaults, then boot, load optimized defaults, then reboot, or enter BIOS. I'd like to just enter the BIOS, but it will not let me get past the screen. Like, nothing. Oh, this is fun. I don't know what else to try next. I mean, anybody else have any ideas? I pulled the battery, I've cleared the CMOS, I've used Q-Flash to try to reset the BIOS, I've swapped out the RAM for another exact set. I mean, what else is there to try? Everything seems seated. This sucks. Huh. Now we're in the BIOS. Magic. Nothing changed. What the actual shit? I did nothing. I'm gonna just go through this Q-Flash update through the BIOS just to make sure or ensure that it is indeed updated. I was very close to resorting to the hammer. We call that the format hammer. But I magically was able to get into the BIOS by Control-Alt-deleting the restart. And then suddenly I was able to hit enter to enter the BIOS. The enter button on the keyboard, which didn't work the first time. Or the first 10 times. This must be like a BIOS bug or something with Gigabyte. That's, especially if it does it on the same kit that I'm going to be building with you tomorrow or Saturday. If it does the same exact thing, then we know it is a bug with Gigabyte. And we have a new video to make. But this is a normal DDR5 post right now. What it's doing right now is a normal DDR5 post. So, interesting. Now it's telling me there's a VGA problem. No, Gigabyte doesn't have a history with AMD. Like, issues like this. This is the first time I've ever experienced this with AMD AM5. This is not history. And there's not, like, a history of, like, AMD CPUs not working with Gigabyte. I think it's just a bug that we've encountered or found. Surprisingly. Not surprisingly, because if everybody knows who I am, they know I have the worst luck in the world, so. But if this was just any, you know, standard person, or maybe let's say this is somebody's first build. You know, this is the first time you put a PC together and you're running into this issue. I mean, that's why you hire people like me to build your PC, because of this kind of crap. Nothing's perfect. I believe this is the RAM training process that takes forever for DDR5. Finally! Because it's stuck on the DRAM light now. But what a cluster F. Beautiful PC, but it's acting like an asshole. About ready to give it up tonight and say, I'm dealing with you tomorrow after coffee. 11:35 already. I've been building since like 8 o'clock. this particular PC since 8 o'clock. That's driving me nuts. That's where I'm at. It's driving me nuts. Holy crap. Try with one stick. What in the actual... Alright, I'm done for the night. I don't know what's wrong with this thing. It's not RAM. It's just BIOS update, nothing. I don't know what's wrong with this thing. I'll deal with it tomorrow. You guys have a good night. I have no solution for this at the moment. First time I've ever seen this bullshit. Thanks, Gigabyte. Thanks, AMD. And whoever else is involved with this clusterfuck right now. Thanks. Alright, guys. I'll take a look at it tomorrow, and if I figure out what it is, I will probably put a video together really quick, just running through it. You have a good night, guys. I'm done for the night. We'll see you probably tomorrow when I will fire up the stream for the next one. It's either going to be Friday or Saturday, actually, so one of the 2 days coming up here. It's going to have the same bundle, so let's hope we figure this out. Have a good night, guys.